management system that most of you are most familiar with. D2L is the learning management system that South Dakota State University uses in order to have instructors, professors deliver information to their students, whether it's an online course or an in-person course. This is the interface that most people see when they go to D2L. And as an instructor, you'll see that we see pretty much the same kinds of things that you as a student would see. So this would be a list of your classes that you have. We have a few more options on the administrative side of this that you don't have because the instructor needs to set up the course, right? So we would have within any one of these, and this is our course, right? Any one of these, we're going to have the ability to edit the course. We have the ability to create these as hyperlinks and those kinds of things. All right, so the course or the LMS that I used the last few years, me and Jeff, the other instructor in this course, we use this together. This is Edmodo, and Edmodo is one of the most popular ones because it's a free LMS system. An awful lot of LMS systems for school districts anymore are going to give you a free introductory version, and or they're going to give you a slightly pay for that LMS system. Usually it's going to be a subscription per student or per school district, those kinds of things. The thing about LMS systems that they all have in common is they allow for the teacher information and the student information to be input. They also allow you to do several different classes, and within any single one of those classes you can have multiple assignments. And I'm going to go to the assignment here. Actually, I'm going to go up here to the progress, right? Because that's going to list all of the assignments that are in there. But it allows you to create an assignment. It allows you to create quizzes. You can take surveys. A snapshot in Edmodo is a new tool. It's based upon smarter balance testing so that pre-formatted quizzes and those kinds of things can be given without the teacher necessarily needing to do a whole lot of work. They allow the instructor to group students. It allows parents and administrators to join the group. So any parent that wants to can join the group specifically to their student. That right over here in Edmodo is invite the parents. It allows the instructor to lock or unlock things, and these are all relatively new integrations in K through 12. LMS systems is the connection to browsers like Google, or a lot of them will connect to Firefox, or they will connect to Chrome, those kinds of things. This one right here connects to Google, which also gives the kids, if they have access to it, to Office Online. So when you are joining this right here, just like anything else in the world today, I'll go here to my logout. When you go to Edmodo all by itself, it allows you, once you've logged in, so it'll give you that one sign-on that you can do. So if you have a Google account, you can log in with Google, or you can log in with your Office 365. I'm going to log in with my old K-12 address because that is what I used. I haven't taken the time to change it. Now, the other thing that you can do as the teacher with an LMS system, and I'm using Edmodo as an example here, but D2L allows the very same thing to occur, is that you can monitor the students. You can lock them down. You can create discussion boards that are monitored. This one allows apps to be integrated within it. D2L allows some integration, but not a lot. So here's the goal for this week. LMS systems are, by all rights, teacher-driven. But in any given school district, I can tell you that the school district itself, if they are a one-to-one school district, are going to suggest particular LMS systems to use within the system. Schoology is being used by the Brookings school system. Edmodo is used by a lot of them. Canva is another one. Capterra is another one. There are multiple um, LMS systems that are out there, and again, some of them are free and some of them are not. So this is what we've done. We've given you several readings. Most of these deal with um, the idea behind utilizing an LMS system in your classroom as opposed to the old standard teacher gives notes, um, you write it down in an assignment notebook, and the student takes any homework home and brings it back the next day. So most of these readings are going to deal with the best LMS systems out there and how it is that they are used and why an LMS system is a good way to run a classroom and manage the information that the students need and receive from the teacher. We're living in a world where parents want to be involved and they want access to that stuff. And just like we on the computers, we want that stuff almost immediately. And so no longer do the students get to necessarily forget their stuff in their locker, because if it's in an LMS system, then it's available to them as it is. So your discussion this week is going to be a little bit different, okay? Because LMS systems and arranging and setting up an LMS system it's not complicated. It just might take you a little bit of time to find one that you really like, to find two that you really like, and then to actually go in and set this whole thing up. So your discussion this week is going to be a discussion board that asks general questions, which puts a little more responsibility on you guys to read everybody else's, because if Timmy asks a question about setting up an LMS and somebody else sets up a question about an ML, this asks the same question, then we know kind of that you're not reading everybody else's. So what we want the discussion board to be this week are questions related to the assignment as they are. Ask questions all you want to. We're going to monitor it a little more closely this week so that we can answer those questions as they come in. But I'll be honest with you, it probably won't be immediate, but you'll get an answer within 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. Okay, so ask your questions in that by um, oh, look at there, I'm getting a phone call in, so my stuff thought it needed to go away. How fun is that? So ask your questions about this week's assignments within the discussion board, okay? Your first assignment is going to be twofold. First of all, you need to find and review 3 different LMS systems. Now you're going to want to look for free ones, but I also want you to look for those that are pay-for sites to review. And the way that's going to do is you're going to find 3. You're going to find a review that somebody else gave about those LMS systems, and then you are going to copy and paste those reviews into a Word document. It's going to look very similar to this first part right here. So you're going to find 3 LMSs, and you're going to find reviews about those LMSs and cite your source. Could be from a tech journal, could be from a tech magazine, could be from a K-12 journal, could be from anywhere. Make sure it's a reliable source, but find 3 LMS systems and find a review for each of those. Once you've done that, I want you to go back to those 3, and I want you to choose 2 to work with specifically. And once you've got those, then I want you to construct those LMSs into classes. Now, you don't have classes yet. You only have pretend classes in your head, right? So it's all fiction at this point, so you get to make this LMS and your class look exactly the way you want it to. How would you set up this LMS to do that? Now, we've given you some suggestions. The first one is to put in 2 units. A unit, for example, in Edmodo would look very different than it might in D2L. So a unit in here could be this right here. This whole thing right here is a unit. And so the kids had to build a spaghetti tower. So all of the work was in there and all of the assignment was in there, and that would be one unit. There were no quizzes or anything in our class, so that would have been something that was added there as well. A unit in D2L is going to look a little different. So a unit in D2L is going to be like this right here, where the readings are. So here's the learning management system. This is a unit. All of the readings, this is the assignments as they exist, and those kinds of things. So when you look to create a unit, it's going to look very different for everybody. I'm not looking for a cookie cutter approach here. What I want you to do is find two LMSs, set both of them up for two or for one class for each one. Could be the same stuff in each one, right? So you can create the material to go into the LMS for one and use that same material and put it in the next LMS. But we want you to use those LMSs, figure out how do they work well? Is it easy to use? Is it something that you'd want to use? And then you're going to do reviews on those that come from you. So what are your overall recommendations for that LMS? What did you find that was easy to use, intuitive to use? Was it easy to use? Do you think a monkey could do this, or does it take a PhD to do this? How and or what is the best way that could be used in the class? And this, again, can be essay form, it could be bulleted form. You might give me a vlog, you might give me a virtual blog. How you give me this information, I'll leave up to you, right? You could write it all out, you could do it in a lot of different ways, okay? I know those are all pretty vague, but again, I don't want to lock you down into do this, do this, do this, because everybody's going to approach the way you look at something like this in a very different way. When I looked for an LMS, I looked for something that was a no-brainer, that was easy to construct, and that was easy to use. I finally ended up liking Edmodo because when I got an assignment in here, see if I can find one here for you. When I got an assignment in here, it allowed me to do anything within this. So I can annotate in here. So if I see this PowerPoint, I can actually annotate the PowerPoint as it exists within the program. A lot of LMS systems wouldn't allow me to do that, but Edmodo would. And so I ended up using Edmodo. And you see I'm going to get an error message right here because of my PowerPoint online isn't set up. So when you go about doing this, have some fun with it, play with it a little bit. But with that being said as well, if you noticed on your course home over here, the original due date for this, which isn't in here, and it should have been. So the original due date on this was February 17th, but that is not going to happen anymore. So this is what we would like for this. We're going to change that February 17th date. Let me bring up the calendar here. I see this is not Zoom availability. Okay, all right, so this, right, oh, I know what that is. That's for the discussion post, right? So your LMS was supposed to be due on the 17th, but it's not. It's going to be due on the 24th, and I will make those changes on the calendar in D2L, okay? So you have all of this week, and you have all of next week in order to work on that particular assignment, okay? And as always, if you have any questions, email me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Usually it's going to be in a couple of minutes. If I'm not busy doing something, if I'm in a meeting or a class, it'll be a little bit longer. All right? So have a good day, and remember to read everything. Look at this content page. Remember this right here. It's in your content for Unit 6. And have some fun with this. All right. Bye.